Hello, good evening. This is Mario Margari live from London, and we are here to get started with the Friday talks. I'm going to be. Hello, Jackbeer. I'm just waiting for the guest. Just waiting for our guest to jump on the call, go live with the. Okay, we are almost ready to go live with our guest. Need just to press the accept button, and then we are ready. So, yes, we made it. Thankfully. Okay. Can you hear
Aloha,
me?
can you hear me? I can hear you loud
Aloha.
and clear.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh,
Perfect,
fabulous.
perfect.
Aloha,
Okay,
everyone.
we had some issues. We had some issues or issues on Facebook, but I think I'm not gonna use any more Facebook for these lives because I don't know, it's driving me crazy all the times. But anyway, let's start. Let's get rock and roll here. We have an amazing guest tonight, guys. We have Mrs. Wally Lauferberg from, she will say her story. I'm not going to say where she's from. She will introduce herself shortly. And as we always do on our on my Friday talks, I like first to introduce the guest, and then we're going to ask each other, let's say, two questions about life, vision, success, everything. What we like to ask each other, and then there will be about 45 minutes, an hour. Is that okay with you, Wally?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, I like your background, so you can
Oh,
yeah, feel free to share your story, and then after you finish, I'll go with me.
okay. Okay. Aloha, everyone. I am so excited to be here. My name is Wally Lauferberg, and I'm now at my home in Northern California. But really, guys, I'm originally from the island of Kauai, Hawaii. Born and raised. I'm from a sugar plantation. It for me growing up, it was glamorous, but now that I look back, uh, I lived in a home with nine siblings, three
Wow.
bedrooms, a kitchen, but our doorstep was right on the beach. So I was born and raised on a beautiful, beautiful plantation with the sunrise and the sunset, with coconut trees and fishing and surfing. I grew up surfing, if you can imagine that. So for me, I had a really amazing childhood. And I'm really, really happy that I'm able to share that with my children and grandchildren. I'm 69 and I'm a mother of three grown men who have children of their own. So I'm a grandmother and I'm also a great grandmother. You know, I had a business career in corporate America. I mean, you know, as I was growing up, that was not what I wanted to do. I I wanted to be a flight attendant. I wanted to own my own business. I wanted to be an independent business woman. You know, being the eldest of nine and having to share clothes and share food, and I wanted to have my own.
Mm.
So I went to school in Honolulu, which was, a jump from a plantation, a very poor plantation as it is. And then after going to business school, I moved to California, which is now my home for since 1970. So you do the math. um, and I finished my school there. I worked in Berkeley, and then I got married, had a family, had a career, and then I retired. And I thought, wow, what do I do now? I wanted to. supplement my retirement, my pension funds. And so I delved into something I thought would have never happened to me in my life. And, I've been, that's where my story really began. So I'm happy to be here, Mario. Thank you so much. Mario and I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting a year ago. Wasn't it a year ago or so? Oh my God, I was so tickled. He was his smile, number one, and he offered so much information about and background. I was intrigued. So I'm happy to say that Mario is my friend, and I can learn so much from him growing up in a different country. So um, I'm glad to be here, Mario. Thank you for inviting me.
That's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for actually taking the time off to. I know in California now is lunchtime, right? It's around
Yes,
12, 1 p.m.
yes, it
So
is.
yeah, okay. So yeah, that's why I really appreciate you took some time off as well to maybe you have something else. No, no, no. She said 12 is fine. I asked her before. Do you want to do after or before? No. So I really appreciate it. Yeah. And I'm gonna ask you something really small after when I finish my story. Yes, we met. Let's say we met last year, but physically this year in February. We met in Texas this year in February. Yes, since 1 year we're in touch, and despite the different location, the different experience, the different age, is I'm gonna say at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna say at the end of the story. Yeah. So we have a great connection.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
why I like. That's why I like to do these lives and to have people that I can have a connection and connection in terms of life, friendship, and then business, mentorship. Everything can be. Can connection is a big word for me, and I guess for other people as well. So I'm 26. I'm 26 years old. I'm Italian, as most of the guys knows. I'm from Puglia, which is a region in the southeast area of the country. You were born in Hawaii, which is
Yeah.
in the ocean. I was born in Puglia, which is an area near the sea as well, as we have 5,000 kilometers of coast in my region, and it's
Oh,
one of the largest region in Italy with the sea. So we are kind of similar background, I would say, but I'm the only child. So there's a big difference, yeah.
huge difference.
So we're similar in terms of background, like where we are from, let's say near the sea, like the
Mhm.
environment to be at the sea every most of the days. But yes, I'm the only child in the family, and I'm 26, as I was mentioning. Been studying hospitality industry at school in Italy. Then I came to London 9 years ago because next year is going to be my decade anniversary next year. I came to London in 2011. I can't still believe it. 9 years ago, I came first time here in London.
Wow.
Yes, it was just for an internship with school, 2 weeks, and I always been fascinating about the English language, the movies, London, Ireland, the US, all the country where you can speak English. And I was like, you know what? I'll go back to school. I mean, I'll finish school and then I think I'll just go for 2 years to London. Okay.
Two
So
years.
I moved to London in 2014. In 2014, and now it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years, so it's been temporarily for 6 years, I would say. Like you, it's been temporarily since 1970 in California. But what I want to share on my story is like yourself, you go to the point when you want to do something else about your life. And that was for you when you got retired. I have a joke about retirement in Italy. I'll tell you after what it is, or remind me if I forget. Um, but what happened to me was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I wasn't really happy. Something was troubling my mind. and I was still in London, but I gave my resign letter since a couple of months. And I was like, okay, 2018, I'm going to take a break from London. I'm going to go back home and for summer. So I enjoyed the summer. I worked there. But reason why I went back is something was troubling me. I wasn't really happy. I was losing track. I mean, I have goals like I hope most people have goals, but I wasn't getting that. So I was like, I need a break and I need to focus. I need to find again myself. So I
Right.
went back. And then when I came back to London in November 2019, in November of that year, I attended an event where I met a group of people, and that's where I've been introduced to a new world to me, but it's actually been in place for many years. So, and that's something that clicks my mind in terms of personal development, learning about finance, learning about your money, and meeting people around the world like yourself, and so
Yeah.
many. So that's something that I really want to share with people because your comfort zone is good to have it, but if you're really driven about goals and doing many things in life, you
Right.
need to get out of there. So, and my questions before we start continue before we continue, question about anyway, it's just a joke. Can I be part of your what's it called, nephew family from Italy?
Abs- I love it. I totally love it.
So it's live
Absolutely.
now, it's official. I can be I can
Yeah.
be part of it. Yeah. Just
No,
just
you will
uh,
always be part of my Ohana. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah, just I like to make a job as well. I mean it as yeah, we have a great connection. So Wally, I would like to start with yeah. Let's say we ask each other two questions, and
Okay.
then we'll see how long it is, and then we'll go from there. So as a young, what would you suggest to first to a young person, and then to anyone? What you would suggest to have to get the most out of life? What do you
Okay.
suggest to people?
Okay. So as a young adult, for example, and say that you've just finished college or finished your education, because up to that point you had a dream. And it could be something that and it happened to me in real life. And that is, I wanted to get into hospitality just like you. In Hawaii, there's a lot of hotels, there's a lot of inter island traveling, for example. And that's really what I wanted to do as I was growing up, simply because I love to talk, I love to have fun, I love to meet new people from all over the world. So I wanted to do that. But when I was in business college, I changed my mind. Something else came uh, into my life where I've met several people who were in college, and they came to Hawaii to do an international football game. I can't remember exactly the name of the team, but they came and we had a beach party and we were talking. And they said, so you want to stay on the island. You don't want to expand your experience and your knowledge. And that really hit me.
Mm,
I was only 19, almost 20 at that time. And so, what I want to say to a young individual is that it's okay to change your mind. You want to get into to where you really truly fit in. And as when I moved to California, I simply found my niche, because not only was I able to meet a lot of new people and have a career, I was able to start my family. I got married and I met his friends and his family. So I expanded in that area. We traveled all over the world before we started our family. So I had that as well. And then I built my career from the bottom up. I ended my career as a operations manager, which, you know, that was not my dream. It just happened to get there. So for a younger individual, I say, you know what, experience it, you know, and it's okay for you to change your mind as an adult, and you've branched out. Hey, listen, I'm retired. I'm 69. I still have a lot of energy left, and I am in a new career, entirely different. And I'm totally, totally happy because for the first time in my life, I'm able to work on me. I've never
Yeah.
done that before. So I hope that answers the two questions.
Yes, yes, it answered 100%, 110%, yeah,
Okay.
because you give obviously to a, let's say, younger generation is good to explore, but as well put your
Yeah.
put your mind on as well. But
Yes.
yeah, for something that you want to do, and you see, I believe is the law of attraction. That's what was it like when you look something that when you look for something, eventually will come. So
Yeah.
it might take few years, it might take a decade, but eventually will come if you
Yeah.
keep, you know, looking for it. So that's great, and I'm really happy that we are together in this journey. That's how I like
Yeah.
to call it. So yeah, for myself instead, I would say I'm young, but yeah, I would say for up to 20, from 18 to 22, I would say yeah, experience, have
Yeah.
fun, try to get your mind on what you want to do. But then from 23 onwards, time to work.
Yeah.
That's
That.
what I would say to people. Like then you need to actually put on paper, pen and paper on what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Put a plan and put a plan on a plan that you will take, so you can actually be there in the future. What I mean is take a time off, take a day off or something to
Yeah.
be like uh, to have a quiet space, you know, a pen and
Yeah.
paper, and I'm like, okay, in 10 years, where I want to be, in 20 years, where I want to be, what I want to have my family, what I want to do, you know. And if writing on paper is the first step, I would say, then obviously you need to work your ass off. I'm gonna say it, I don't care.
Yeah.
You need obviously to do it, because otherwise it will be just words on paper. I just bought a vision board the other day. I have already my papers here, my affirmations, but now I'm gonna make the bigger picture as I always wanted. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna need it. Now I'm gonna finish it. But
Oh,
yeah, to everyone anyway, I would say, yeah, put on paper what you want to do, put a plan together, and as well, maybe with the time, find as well someone that is been there already and can guide you as well. Don't do it by yourself. You need a mastermind of people. You need someone with experience, and someone can guide you, not just your neighbor that doesn't know anything, but someone that actually did it and knows where it's going, you know.
I agree.
So yeah, that's my advice for people. I'd like to be more direct. It's good to explore, but don't explore too much. Then otherwise, you know, life will take over you. So that's what I say. I mean, enjoy, yeah, that's fine. If your party whatsoever, travel, yeah, everything. But I'm a goal since 3 years, but they were always just in my mind. They were never written on paper. So that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely where it should be because just like you said earlier, if you don't have a plan and a goal, then you're going to not be working your ass off, right? I mean, you're just going to be sitting and not taking care of your future. And that's my advice to a lot of the younger generation is make a plan.
Yeah.
Make a plan, you know. So can I have my question?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Okay, here's my question, and it's totally the opposite, or, not so grandeur, but just because of my own interest. So, as I had mentioned, I was brought up on a sugar plantation, and my growth, or actually my childhood, was filled with traditions and culture, all from the old. While I'm Hawaiian, I do have the Chinese and the Filipino and the Hawaiian. So there's a lot of culture and a lot of traditions. So when you begin your family, or when you have your family, what are some of the traditions and culture that you were brought up with that you'll be sharing with them?
So let me rephrase it to see if I understood it, if I
Okay.
understand. So what traditions that I've learned from when I was a child, I
Hmm.
will transfer to my children?
Yes.
Okay. Um, that's a good question. Nobody asked me that. It would be it would be to be always with the family, thinking always about health. I mean, not always, but keep your health first, I would
Yeah.
say, because the rest, if you don't have health, you can't really do much. God, it's so hot here. But they're doing a barbecue outside, so I can't really open as
Yeah, you don't want to smell.
and smell it, yeah. But yeah, I would say anyway, yeah, family and health, and then to be with Easter and Christmas, to don't just consider as a day of the year,
Yeah.
don't just consider as a period of the year, but actually something that you should feel it every day. I
Yeah.
say Christmas for me is every day. It's not just the 25th of December. I say Christmas is every day because every day we wake up and we have a new opportunity, like to share something, to
Yeah.
share. I mean, to explore and to anyway to have a good life, and we get energy. So Christmas for me is every day. This is something that actually I found out recently in the last 3 years, I would say,
Uh-huh.
because I've been home for Christmas. I've been home for Christmas only last year after 5 years being in London alone
Oh, wow.
in Christmas for Christmas. I mean, not alone. I was with my colleagues, with some friends, but it,
Yeah.
it wasn't the same. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like Christmas now is every day, I would say. Then yeah, to go to the sea, to relax and enjoy. Don't go to the mountains. Go to the sea. That would be another something that I would say, because I live in London now that doesn't have sea, but is on an island, like is an island. So I'm like, yes. As soon as I get the chance to go out, I always go to the sea. Always go somewhere,
That is
because
so
that's
funny.
yeah,
That
that's me.
is
So
so funny. If I could interrupt you for just a second, you
yeah, I'm
know,
done.
I go home every year. Of course, it's been almost 9 months since I've been home.
Hmm.
Um, but I go home ba- for two reasons. Well, three. And one is to check up on my mom, make sure that she's in good health, and the house is being taken care of and stuff. Number two, to get in the ocean. And I believe part of our tradition, part of our culture, is to get your healing from the oceans. And that's why I rejuvenate every year, so I can keep going 100 miles an hour when I come back to California. And then number three, to get the food.
Food. Yeah.
I'm just, so that's been my thing of being connected as far as my traditions and my culture, and I try to instill that into my children and grandchildren. One of most the most important to me is the music
Hmm.
and the hula dancing, because it says everything about the culture, besides the food, but everything about the culture. And it's really, really important to me as far as the culture, because I live in a different culture, and my children were born in a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do get together, it's all about Hawaiian music, all about talking Hawaiian, all about hula dancing and whatnot. So
Oh yeah,
uh,
sorry, I forgot. Yeah, obviously to teach the dialect where I'm from, like my local language
eg-
as well. Yeah, yeah,
exactly what I wanted to hear.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Beautiful.
And you
I'm glad
done, I mean,
to
you
that.
done the same with your children, I guess, right? They
Yeah,
speak Hawaiian.
yeah. Well, and I do it through music
Okay.
because the children here understand a different uh, culture and language through music. It's easier, if that makes
I
sense. I
think
don't know.
barbecue is over.
What's
Ah,
wrong?
I can breathe.
Hey, you need to get a fan. Maybe that's what I'll give you in August. A
Okay,
fan.
it's good. Yeah, the beauty of the life, you know, that's how
Yeah.
I call it. Like when something happens, yeah, I can breathe now. I can smell some meat, so it's good. Yeah,
Oh, you're too
yeah.
fun. Okay. Tag, you're it.
But
You're
yeah, I
it.
would say yeah. I mean, learning the dialect is something important. That I
It
know
is.
people here with the Italian. Can you hear noises on the background?
No,
No. Okay.
I hear you.
Okay, because there's some music here, so I don't know if it gets interrupted. Can you hear the
No,
birds? There are some
I
birds now.
love it. I
Okay.
love it.
Okay. Good.
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
So yeah, music is yeah. I know some people here in London. They're Italians, both mother and father. The
Oh,
son doesn't speak Italian. I'm
ah,
like, I can't swear, but you get what I'm going, you know.
yeah.
I mean, the F word, I would say. I mean, what really? I mean, why? I mean, is that's where you grow up. That's your culture, and you're not.
Yeah.
No, I mean they. Anyway, that's them. I'm gonna do my way. Yeah. So
Yeah.
something that I wanted to ask now: how come California?
Thank you for asking
I
that.
know, I know it's close. I would say close to Hawaii. It's about 4 hours, 3 hours flight.
It's 6.5 hours. With
Oh,
the
okay,
trade winds, however, when the trade wind shifts, it's about a 5 hour trip.
okay. If I want to come to New York, it's 6 hours. If I want to come to you, it's about 10 hours. So, well,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Um,
wow, okay, yeah,
why
please.
California? Well, I was never going to move out of the islands
Mm,
because until I met that football team, um, uh, in exploring and becoming brave and whatever I was thinking at 19 years old, um, my aunt and uncle lived by San Francisco. So
oh, okay.
they said to me one day, why don't you come and visit us for a vacation?
Everything starts with a vacation, right?
And I said, to California? I don't want to leave Hawaii. So they said 2 weeks, just come to California for 2 weeks. I did, and I never left. So I stayed. My parents were not happy with me because they had a plan. And their
Mm,
plan was for me to go to business school, to get the education, get a job, move back to Hawaii, to Kauai, and take care of my siblings and work, but help
yeah.
them. So my mother was the only person who said, no, I want you to go out and spread your wings. I'll never, ever forget that.
Mm,
And so she talked with my grandparents and my dad, in giving me the blessings to
Mm.
stay put in California. But my gosh, I was not going to go home back to Kauai after that big hullabaloo, because my dad was ranting and raving, and your culture, it's your job, this is what, you're
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and this is
yeah,
what you're all about. It's all about family. Now you're breaking the family, trying to give me the guilt trip, so anyway,
yeah.
that's how it was.
I thought was for the environment, for the environment, like for the sea. But yeah, yeah. If you have family, if you have someone there, is I will understand. It's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, in terms of what I usually like to ask is, which books do you recommend to have a different perspective in life?
Okay, so have you
I'm
ever
sure you have read more books than me.
Oh, I don't know if I've read more books than you, because I know that you're an avid reader. But one of my favorite books is The Four Seasons. That's number one. Number two, of late, is obviously the 10X, which was just recently introduced. I heard about it. I had the audio about 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
heard it once, but because of the presentation, uh, it was kind of hard for me to grasp the presentation, the excitement, I will say, and how graphic he described it. But, now I can read it and not take offense to it, because I get what Grant Cardone is saying. So that's one of my favorite books. Um, Another book that comes to mind is Catcher of the Rye.
Mm-hmm.
And we all had to read that book when we became the 50th state. I was in uh, I was a youngster, but when I moved into grade school, that was one of the required book to read. Now, if you ask me today if that has made an impact in my life, my answer is going to be no.
Mm.
But I enjoyed it. My very first book in the fifth grade was the tree that grew in Brooklyn, and
Okay.
I guess it was a fantasy for me, because I lived on a plantation, and the book is about a young girl living in the United States, in a big city, and it was her life evolved around this tree and how it helped her to get through her, I don't know, get through the next phase or milestone in her life. So it was a fantasy for me, and I'm going, oh, so I don't have a tree like an apple tree, but I do have a coconut tree. So my
Yeah.
house, the home that my parents had, was surrounded by coconut trees.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, whenever a child was born, planted a coconut tree. So I had a coconut tree, which, by the way, today had it was like this in the backyard. Now it's like this into the ocean, and it's like,
Ar-
are you saying
arthrosis?
it's the end of my life? I mean,
Does he has
uh,
arthrosis or something?
no, it bent to where it's no longer straight up. It's like over the ocean like
Yeah.
this. And I'm going, oh, okay. Does that have a meaning? Should I even care? But I grew up with that coconut tree, and
Mm.
when my children were born and my grandchildren were born, my father is no longer with us, but when we went home, we planted the coconut tree, and you should see them. They're so majestic, so
Mm.
majestic. So that's one of the traditions, that I spoke of earlier. So that's one of the books that I totally enjoyed. And then, of course, we have a lot of books on Hawaii that by Mr. Robert Mitchum. And I said, no, this is not the story of Hawaii. This is not how, but it's a book. So I enjoyed that book as well. Um, I'm trying to think. Now, if you're talking about personal development, I would have to say Mr. John Maxwell, John C. Maxwell. My favorite oh, I'm sorry. It's, oh my gosh, Leadership, 21 Irrefutable on
Okay, leadership, yeah.
leadership. And my most favorite chapter is Lifting the Lid, which is the first chapter, I believe, or maybe
Mm.
second chapter. Only because that was the beginning of my growth, and how the perspective on how I'm seeing other people. So that's one of my favorite books. Um, and then, of course, and I don't want you to laugh, so hang on to your desk there. The Women's Bible in a women's perspective. Now, that doesn't take away from the Bible. It's just uh, uh, intercept in a women's perspective, how a woman would see it, how Eve would see it. I'm not going to go into it, but I
So
enjoy.
instead of being called, let's say, instead of putting he, the book is saying she.
No,
No.
it's
Okay.
more like interpretation on a woman's perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not taken away from the Bible. It's just, how to understand. I'm not a liberated woman. I just, uh, I believe in equality.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. And can you just explain what's the first one? You said fourth season. Who wrote it? Jimbo?
Um, the Four Seasons, it's like the book. Oh, who wrote it?
I'll check it after anyway. Yeah, but the fourth season.
I'll
Okay.
have to get back to you.
Okay.
But it's in respect to how, um, like, like growing a flower or growing a plant,
Mm.
and your life in the beginning of the first season, be it spring,
Mm-hmm.
then the second life, the rejuvenation, and how you hide from the sun. And yeah, that's my interpretation. So,
Okay. Okay. I need to catch up on this book, yeah, because I have a Kindle now, and I'm like, I've downloaded so many that I lost counts. So anyway, and I have other books as well. So yeah, I'm reading John Maxwell now. I'm reading How to Think Successfully, something like that is called.
oh, yeah.
And I just published today on my stories. That actually is true. I mean, if you want to discover, if you want to have a bigger picture, you need to change most of the things in your mind. So that's true. John Maxwell is someone, yeah, that I would recommend as well.
you,
Me in terms of, yeah, go.
you might want to also, if you're connected to your email a lot, he has a daily word and
Word.
word. So
Okay.
he will email you a word of the day, and the word could be inspiring. A word could be, anything get your morning
Mm. Going.
inspiration.
Okay. Okay. I need to catch up with this. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Me in I'm having some trouble here. Okay. Me in terms of books that to have a, let's say, a perspective, or anyway to open on the mind, I would say, you know where I'm going already.
Yeah,
Think and Grow Rich,
yeah,
a master for everyone.
yep. It,
And because
yeah.
what I said before, there is a reason why, and I'm going to share this on a bigger scale, I would say. You know where I'm going with this as well. I'm going to share this about Think and Grow Rich because when I said at the beginning to write down your goals, your plan, it's something that I was saying to people back, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I was saying to people out loud, but I wasn't doing it. I never done it. Then this book was suggested to me, and I was like, I was reading it. I was like, this is what I've been said to people, and I never done it. And this book had helped more than 500 people become millionaires, whatever. Anyway, to have a good life, I would say.
Correct.
Like, that's why I really suggest this book. And you don't need just to read it. Read it is fine, but then read it 5 times, 5, 6 times. So you need to study it. You need to go there. So that's the book, because again, I was saying to people, but then I wasn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I have on my Kindle as well. Every day I'm reading a few parts of a chapter. So just as a reminder. And I read it in English and Italian in both. So I have both in paper. The other book I would say is about financial education, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Is to give you, is just to give an idea of how I would say the world works. Because as you mentioned before, like you want to be a flight attendant in hospitality, you want to have your own business, and now somehow we are there, we are getting there, but we are getting there somehow. But you need to, yeah, we need in a way to understand actually when we say, oh, the rich, the rich, the rich. Anyone can be a rich person if they wish to. Jim Rohn used to say this: if you wish to, you can achieve everything, and it's true. You need just to make a decision, work your ass off, and stick to the plan. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's easy. And you mentioned Grant Cardone. That's another one which I follow a lot. And this guy was like, yeah, selling cars and now owns I don't know how many houses or whatsoever.
Well, he started with apartments.
Yeah.
That's all he had. He had
Yeah.
10
So
apartments, and look at him today.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you really want to get an idea of how the world works, obviously the book is 90% good, because I would say then 10% is a slightly different country by country, because I explain about tax and all the stories, but that's different. Anyway, I found out some stuff here in the UK that I'm not that, how do I say? Anyway, everywhere is you can be in the rat race everywhere in every
Yeah.
country, even
I
in the
totally,
research. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I want to say. Yeah. Yeah. Those are my 2 books for now. I'm gonna have more, obviously, when I'm going to read more. But yeah, that
can
is.
I
Yeah.
interrupt?
Go. Yeah, you have your question now. Yeah.
No, not question. I just wanted to make a comment because of my book and because of that page, and which is 86, or yeah, page 86, and you can look it up. That is my morning affirmation.
Mm.
Just so you know. And then, as you can see, I marked it a lot. And like you take one chapter, or you take, one page, and you read it over and over again. And I was taught, just like you, when you read it the first time, or you read a book the first time, you have the understanding. But when you read it again the second time, it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because truly um, where you are at the time that you read it. And then I also wanted to make a comment on Mr. Rohn, or is it Mr. Uh, um, mm, Mr. Kiyosaki. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kiyosaki. He and our President Trump um, had co-wrote a book, and the book. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, I never knew that. I just found out about it yesterday, and I went, "What, Mr. Kiyosaki? No way!" But yeah. So okay, and
Yeah.
it does have to do with uh, uh, building your dream and wealth.
Yeah.
And with that being said, in my mind, one of my morning affirmation is I'm already wealthy in my mind.
Yes.
So anyway, okay,
Wealth and healthy, yeah. Both.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can ask me we have 14 minutes left, 1-4. Because
Oh,
then Instagram will kick us out. Yeah. I have a
oh,
question
okay,
for you, but yes, go ahead.
okay. And I wrote down. Let me
Uh-oh.
see. No, 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 no,
Wrote down the
because I
question.
wanted to make sure. Okay, so my first question you already answered, which is the reason why you left Italy. Um, and then we talked about the tradition and the culture. Um, oh, okay. um, when I have conversations with people, I always seem to come back to dishes, meaning food. And I guess my question to you, because we've touched about, Italian dishes, but when um, when you're sharing, uh, when you're having conversation with people about Italian cuisine,
Mm-hmm.
um, what would your recommendation be with someone who is not familiar with the Italian cuisine as much?
Okay, that's an interesting question as well. Well, we have, as you know, plenty of food from everywhere. From each part of the country, you have different food from everywhere. But
Oh, in
yes,
Italy, different part of Italy.
yeah, yeah, there's food from everywhere. You
Oh,
can be, as someone says, the skinniest Italians on earth. You can be, as someone says to me all the times. But you can eat a lot as well. If you go there, you can eat a lot. So I would say famous for pasta and pizza. We are famous for that. But for coffee and other, hello?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We are famous for that. But I would say now that there are so many, how do I say, so many intolerances, all this cool stuff of food, I would say just eat your pasta. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, like there are so many changes now, intolerance, all of this. I'm like, okay, eat. Sorry, there is a birthday next door. Yeah, so I would say eat pasta, but let's say go to an actual place where you can be sure the products, first of all, are from Italy, and the cookers, I mean the chefs, they are from there as well. Don't just go to a chain that is famous and be like, okay, like I'm not gonna mention names now, but don't go to chains and be like, oh, Italian food. anyone can do
Oh,
Italian food, but in the wrong way. So
right, right.
my favorite plate is carbonara. That is one with bacon and egg and parmesan and black pepper. So that's my favorite one.
Ooh, ooh,
You
that
never
sounds
tried?
delicious. No, I've never tried
Oh,
it.
okay. We need to update you, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I mean we have a lot of cakes as well, a lot of spirits, wine, you know. So I would say yeah, but pasta mainly because that's the culture that we have. And yeah, pizza once a week. Once a week, once a month, yeah. But again, that one you need to go to someone that you know the product can be I'm kind of sweating now, but the product can be locally, I would say, but
Yeah.
it needs to be at least the base and everything how it's done, how it's cooked in the right
Right.
way. Otherwise, it's just a piece of bread for me. Like
Yeah.
you guys had the pepperoni pizza and all this double and the Hawaiian pizza. I'm like, no, no, it's just bread for me. It's different, you know. So yeah, it's just bread. And
Well,
and you know, I haven't argued with people about the Hawaiian pizza. I don't know why it's called a Hawaiian, by the way.
because it's got pineapples.
Yeah, is I think I shared with this you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of it. I'm not gonna eat it unless I'm dead. I'm not gonna eat it. So that's me. So that's my advice. Eat pizza, yeah, but the traditional one.
Well, and the reason why this question even came up is, I would love it if you came to San Francisco, and I tell you why. In San Francisco, we have a section that's close to the Embarcadero, which is the Bay of San Francisco. And it's called Little Italy.
Okay.
They have the, well, they claim to, and I believe them, they have the authenticity of all the Italian food. I mean to say, if you've ever, ever been to an area where is nothing but the coffees, the different um, desserts, and the restaurants with the smells, and oh my gosh,
Mm.
I mean, that's my most favorite place to go when I'm in the city. But I'll tell you what, you have to have reservations months ahead with
Wow.
these,
Okay.
yes, with these restaurants. I mean, they have the street vendors that you can
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to, but if you want something exactly what you've described, I
Mm.
mean to say, uh my, and it's on, we call it the North Beach Italian, Little Italy.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So,
Me too.
and
Yeah.
there, the music,
I've
the
been to the
things.
New York one.
Oh, oh, they have one in New. Well, of course, in New
Yeah.
York. I mean, that's where.
It's really little. It's really little, as you guys say in
Yeah,
the US. It's really small. Yeah. I
yeah,
thought it was bigger, but it's anyway, life experience. It was good. Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
I
love.
didn't eat. I just what did I? No, I think I ate something there. Yeah. Yeah. I just ate some arancini, some small stuff. Yeah. Not that big. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
you
yeah,
find all of the ingredients, the cheese, and the things you like to eat there in the UK.
we are lucky. Yeah. We are lucky to have it. As we are really close, I would say. So yeah, that's good.
Oh, very.
But in the US, it takes more and it's more pricey. I mean, everything is expensive in the US
Yeah,
anyway.
it
But
is.
yeah, that's fine, I guess. So
Yeah.
we only have 6 minutes left. Six
Oh, okay.
minutes. You'll go first, and then I'll go, and then I'll close. What's
Oh,
your
okay.
um, what's your dream destination travel?
Oh, how nice of you to ask me. And I think you already know because I think we've talked about it. My dream destination uh, has been and will be until I get there. And I'm hoping very soon so I can book it now and travel later. And that's New Zealand. And here's the reason. Um, I love the people. Again, the food. Again, it's tropical, so it's very familiar to me.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, the weather being almost the same,
Hmm.
and their culture. And their culture is just like in Italy and just like in Hawaii, surrounds family.
Hmm.
They're huge on family, which it is in Hawaii and I'm sure in Italy. So
Yeah, we know
that's
it.
my
New Zealand is a big thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's my dream destination. I I'm not sure that I'd like to stay in Upland because it's city. I'd like to go to the mountains because, and I want to go during the wintertime because it snows there and they have tons and tons of lake. I want to experience the tropical, but I also want to
Mm.
experience their mountains.
Yeah. Okay. And in the US?
As far as my dream destination, um, is there'll be no laughing at this at all, and that would be New York.
Seriously, you haven't been to New York?
I've been for business when I was
Okay,
in
yeah,
my
that's a
career.
different story then. Yeah.
It's totally different. But this is what I want to do in New York. I want to go to all of the shows on
Yeah.
Broadway. That is what I want to do.
Yeah. I've been there, but I didn't go to the shows. I didn't go to Queens. I didn't. I need to go. I need to get. I need to go again. And if if we're allowed,
Uh,
technically, I would go this summer. Anyway, uh, technically, let's
yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, mine one is 3 minutes. Mine one instead is Cuba, which is near the US. So for yeah, for the salsa, for the music, for dancing. Obviously, it's a tropical island
yeah.
there as well, and for food, for the tobacco cigar, how it's done. You know, the famous cigar in Cuba. Yeah, I don't smoke, but I really want to see how it's done. You know, so really,
Oh,
I
okay.
want to experience that, then to see the history, and then the yeah all the beauty of the island has to offer. That's my main one. Yeah, I have others, but that's my main one. I always say to people, before I die, I need to go to Cuba.
Yeah.
That's what I say to people. Yeah, and in Italy would be Palermo. Palermo is in Sicily. Maybe you heard the name of
Yes.
Sicily or Palermo. Yeah.
Yes.
Reason why is because in Italy we are, let's say, we are famous for something that I'm not really proud of, and that is corruption. And there in Palermo, there are so many how to say stories and people that actually fight that, and as well that's where I want to go for the memories, for the history, but for the food there, oh my lord, for food and as well for the people and for the nature as well. It's near the sea, so it's something that as well is great. Is a great city to visit. Yeah.
It's in the
So south
it's
is the
yeah,
main island below. Is Sicily.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Sicilian food are the best is what I'm hearing. So,
It's
yeah.
good. It's not the best. It's good.
Now don't break my heart on that.
Yeah, there is always competition, like everywhere, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, there is always competition everywhere for everything as well. So we just have 50 seconds left. So Wally, I really want to say thank you again.
Oh,
Mahalo for your time.
oh,
Mahalo for your time, for being here on the call. I appreciate it. For this live Friday talks, and for sharing your life, your vision, your experience, everything. I'm sure this will impact many people around us. And yes, so thank you again. I will see you guys in the next Friday. I don't know who's gonna be here, but maybe will be here someone new, or someone maybe that's already said here. I don't know. Anyway, You have a lovely
Love,
day, and we'll
you
stay in
do the
touch.
same. You do the same. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a great experience and to share and to learn from you. So thank you so much for inviting me on the call.
Pleasure. I'll see you around.